Hi guys, I'm going to go ahead and start recording for lesson 5.5 and start getting you ready for your chapter 5 review test. So in chapter 5.5 or lesson 5.5, we've been multiplying multiples of 10 by one-digit numbers. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this around. And I had started this morning, but I got a parent call and I couldn't finish it. So I'm going to scoot this a little closer. So in this problem, it says, Haley plants 6 rows of marigolds. Each row has 20 marigolds. How many marigolds does Haley plant in all? So I want you to get used to circling all of your important information. That way you don't get lost in your problem. You know, but you can't really see very well because of this nice glare. You know that it says 6 rows of marigolds. So go ahead and circle that. Each row has 20 marigolds. Circle that. And how many marigolds does Haley plant in all? So if this was a problem on your test, you ought to take your pencil and just underline this question. And you need to pick out what your label's going to be. You have to include a label when you write your answer. So you need to make sure that you're saying how many what? Marigolds. And maybe draw a little squiggly line under that, like we've done in class. That way you know that's going to be your label. So now you're going to have this 2-digit number times a single-digit number. Now, the easiest way to go about doing this is just to learn how to multiply it correctly. You're going to take care of your ones place first. This is your ones place right here. And you're going to say 0 times 6 is what? Well, anything times 0 is 0. And 2 times 6, so now you've taken care of your ones place. Now you've got to come over here to your tens place and multiply times 6. So 2 times 6 is what? Well, 6 plus 6, that 2 times any number is double that number, is 12. So you have 120. What if I didn't know how to do this? Well, another trick, anytime you see a 0 in this ones column is, you can just bring down the 0 and then say 2 times 6. Okay? Another way we've learned to figure out the problem is we could draw 6 groups of, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we could put 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 18, 19, 20 in each of these groups, and we could count it all up. Or we could do 6 rows of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Now, I would have to make sure 20 was in all 6 of these rows. So you can see how long that would take me to do that. So the easiest way is just to learn how to say 20 times 6. 0 times 6 is 0. 2 times 6 is 12. 120 is your answer. So you're going to need to write 120 what? And we've squiggly lined our label, marigolds. And you're going to write marigolds. So if this was your test, you will have shown your work and you've included your answer with a label. So let's come over here to this problem. It says a meeting room has 8 rows of chairs. Each row has 10 chairs. The first people to arrive fill 2 rows. How many chairs are not filled? Well, let's count by tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, right? Would be if we counted 10 times. But how many times are we counting 10? We're counting it 8 times. So let's do that. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. So 10 times 8 is 80. We could also figure that by saying 0 times 8 is 0, and 1 times 8 is 8, 80. Now it says, are we done? Nope, because it says the first people to arrive fill 2 rows. So we want to know how many rows or how many chairs are not filled. If each row contains 10 chairs, what would 10 times 2 rows be? 0 times 2 is 0. 1 times 2 is 2. So 10 times 2 is 20. The first people to arrive fill 2 rows. So now we know there's 20 people that are already there. Okay? Our original answer was 80. So it says how many chairs are not filled. We want to take away this 20 from this 80 up here. So I'm going to move this desk over so you can see this problem a little better. So right now we have 20 people already here. We have a total of 80 chairs. Your question says, how many chairs are not filled? So we want to say 80 chairs that are in there right now, right? Minus 20 people or 20 chairs that are already filled. So 0 minus 0 is 0. 8 minus 2 is 6. So 60 chairs are not filled. This is your answer, 60 chairs. Now, I don't think you're going to have a problem like that on your test, but if you do, that was a 3-stepper, wasn't it? Okay, so let's zoom out a little bit, the best way we can zoom out. Goodness. It says use a number line to find the product 4 times 30. Well, let's count by tens on this number line. So this being 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120. In this problem, we're going to have 4 jumps of 30, because remember, your first number is always jumps of, rows of, groups of. So the first thing I'm going to do is make 1 jump of 30. So here's my 30 right here. I'm going to go 0 to 30, right? What's 30 plus 30? Well, how many 10s does it take to get to 30? 10, 20, 30. So 3 10s. So let's count. 1, 2, 3. That leaves us at 60. So here's my second jump of 30. What's 60 plus 30? Well, let's say we didn't know. We could say 6 plus 3. We know 6 plus 3 is 9. So 60 plus 30 would be 90. So we're going to make a third jump of 30. What's 90 plus 30? 9 plus 3 is 10, 11, 12. So 90 plus 30 would be 120. And I'll show you that over here. Let's say we didn't know and that was confusing us. We could say 90 plus 30. 0 plus 0 is 0. And 9 plus 3 is 12. So there's our 120. We're going to make a fourth jump of 30. Did we make 4 jumps of 30? Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 times 30 is 120 using a number line. Let's say we didn't have this number line here though, and we had to figure 4 times 30, and you can see it's written across like this instead of being stacked up. We could say, we could put the big number on top, 30 times 4, and say 0 times 4 is 0, and 3 times 4 is 12. So 30 times 4 is 120. So I'm going to do one on the board that is not a problem on this piece of paper, which you don't have anyway. So I am going to, let's see, I'm going to move my camera over to this side a little bit where you can see this part of my board. Let's work using another 2-digit number, okay? Let's say they wanted to know 50 times 6. There, you can see that a little bit better. Again, you have to take care of your ones side first, which is 0 times 6. 0 times 6 is what? 0, right? 5 times 6 is what? Well, let's say we didn't know. We could say 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, right? So 5 times 6 is 300. I'm going to walk over here and look at another problem in your book. Okay. Now, this is not your book that you have from Go Math. This would be our strategic intervention that we would be doing. So, in this, they show us a chart. Okay? And it's split like this. And you'll see something like this on your test. You may have a 2 here and a 12 here. A 3 and an 18. Let's say this is blank, but you have a 24. Let's say there's a 5 here, but this one is blank. And let's say this one says a 6 here, but this is blank. And you're looking at this and you're thinking, how do I do this? When you see something like this, you need to figure out, how did we get from this 2 to this 12? We can say 2 times what is 12? So 2 times 6 is 12. Well, let's say we don't know if this times 6, which it looks like you can't really see that on your screen. I'll write that a little bit. Let's say we don't know if this 6 applies to the rest of this chart. We could say 3 times 6. Well, what's 3 times 6? We'd say 6, 12, 18. Oh, do we have 18 here? Yep, so that works. Now they're going to say, what times 6 is 24? Well, let's do our sixes song. 6, 12, 18, 24. Oh, did that work? Yep. So 4 times 6 is 24. What's 5 times 6? 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. Oh, now we know it's 30. And what about 6 times 6? 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, right? So 6 times 6 is 36. And that's how you're going to fill in the spaces that are blank on these charts. You're going to start out by saying, what times this number equals this number here? And that's going to be what you're going to multiply by in the rest of your chart here. And then let's say we see something like this. And it says 56 equals blank times 7. And you're like, man, I don't know. How do I do that? Don't get confused because this is backwards, okay? Because if we were going to write it, we would say blank times 7 equals 56. Well, what times 7 equals 56? Let's do our 7 songs. 7, 14, 21, 28, and 35, 42, and 49, 56, 8, right? 8 times 7 equals 56. You could even do it like that. So when you see a problem that just has the blank there, but the rest of the problem, you just have to ask yourself, what times that number equals that number? Let's say we see a letter in the place, and it says H times 7 equals 35. Don't be confused by this H. This H is just a variable. It means it's unknown. We don't know what it is. It's like saying what times 7 equals 35. 7, 14, 21, 28, and 35. Oh, 5, right? So you would have 5 times 7 equals 35. Let's go over this multiplying by a 2-digit number, and then we'll end this. 80 times 7. Don't get confused when you start seeing the bigger numbers. That can seem overwhelming. And then you're like, oh no, I don't know what 80 times 7 is. Yes, you do. 0 times 7 is 0. 8 times 7, let's say you don't know. You could count by your 8s. You could say 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, and 64, and 72. Now say 80 and we're all through, right? But let's say we don't want to do that. Maybe we like our 7 song better, because let's just be honest. That goes really low, and I don't like that one so much. So let's do the 7 song. 7, 14, 21, 28, and 35, 42, and 49, 56. Oh, we're back to that number 56. That's a big number, right? 560. but you can do that. 80 times 7 is 560. You just have to remember to do this ones column first. So you'll do this column first, right? And then you've got to do this next. And you can do that. Don't get afraid that you have a chapter review test coming up, because you can do it, okay? I feel very confident in you. Have a great day.